Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user I think it might be over. Me, 30 female, with my husband, 32 male of 8 years, found possible evidence of cheating. I'm devastated. I don't know where exactly to start. He is working late tonight, or that is what he says, so I thought I'd take some time to write in and ask for advice. Sorry for this being disjointed, I've been pretty emotional and crying a lot this evening. We have been together since college, married for the last 8 years, right after college grad for me. We were perfect for each other. Many friendships have come and gone, but we've always found contentment in each other, both adventurous and did some traveling together when we were first married. We argued, but not a lot. We had kids. The first was 6 years ago, planned child. The second and last is now 3, surprise child. Since having kids, it's been tough to get time together. Both of our parents live a few hours drive away, and there aren't many babysitters we've found that can handle our rambunctious boys. My husband works a demanding, stressful job and has had to cancel vacation plans more than once over the last 6 years because of a terrible boss. We were seeing each other for what felt like minutes every day, and our children, while wonderful, demanded a lot of our time and energy. His boss changed about 6 months ago. Immediately, his hours became more reasonable and his stress levels went down. Still long hours and travel some days, but better. We had evenings together again, but something was different. It felt like we were strangers, just roommates who had kids together. We were just so exhausted from the last few years that we must have spent a couple of months using any spare time we had once the kids were in bed, crashing or watching Netflix, etc. Just boring stuff. All along I felt very disconnected from the man who was supposed to be my partner. So we talked about it. I told him I missed him. We had a few conversations about feeling disconnected. We hired a sitter, went on some dates, and things started to feel better. He's been more loving and attentive. He bought me flowers again. I was feeling so hopeful, like I was getting my partner back. Then, about a month ago, I noticed something I think I wasn't supposed to. He has been talking about this work trip coming up for a week in August. It's been a bit of a sore spot for me since in my mind, summers is for family vacations, not work trips. But I've been being understanding. However, when he was in the shower, his phone beeped, and I saw an email from someone named Allison entitled Our Trip. I felt a little weird looking at it, but when I asked him about it, he checked his phone and told me it was a spam email. I didn't think of it after that, but since then, I haven't seen his phone left out again. I found something else about a week ago. It was a receipt for a jewelry store, and it was a sizable sum. Money has never really been terribly tight for us, but even I was surprised by how much it was for. I felt a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach and, I admit, looked for his personal laptop to see if I could snoop through his emails. But he'd taken his personal laptop to work, something he'd never done. I was getting nervous, but somehow didn't want to bring it up with him. Maybe I was trying not to believe it, but this morning I found his credit card bill in his sock drawer. Why was he hiding it, you ask? There were transactions going back over the last month, all for stores that men typically don't shop at. I added them up and he has spent a few $100s on what looks like women's clothing and lingerie. I haven't seen anything from these stores in our house, so who are they for? He is working better hours, but still away some evenings. He could be spending at least an evening a week with someone else. I don't know what to think, but I fear the worst. Is there someone else? Was I too unavailable when our kids were younger? Is he going on a trip with them? Is it this Allison person? What am I going to do if he leaves me? He's buying her presents for God's sake. Doesn't that usually mean a man is moving on or falling in love somewhere else? I don't know what to do. I don't know any of his passwords, so I can't snoop. I could call his office to make sure he is actually there when he says he is, but if I talk to anyone, I think I'm just going to start bawling again. He should be home in a couple of hours. What am I going to do? I don't want to raise my kids alone. I don't want to be alone. Okay, OP, I know it looks bad, but all the evidence that you have doesn't directly point to having an affair or him cheating on you or falling in love with somebody else. A typical red flag would be him texting constantly, and when you ask him who it is, he just dismisses it and then he just hides his phone. But even though it is suspicious, it could very well be a spam email or something else, but not necessarily an affair. Opie, I absolutely understand how this could be eating at you, and it must be a horrible feeling. So even though he could very well lie to you if he is having an affair, I would talk to him. Ask him what is going on, and if he does have a reasonable explanation, then he should also have more evidence and he shouldn't have a problem showing you his emails or his messages, anything to make you feel secure regarding your relationship. Another option is that this could all be for you, because you have spoken that in the last few months things have been improving a lot. Yes, it could be a naive way of thinking, but it's still a possibility. So what do you guys think is really going on here? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Drink Male Tears says, show him the receipt you found. Ask him to explain why he's been buying women's clothing and jewelry. If the reason is totally innocent, he's been quietly squirreling away gifts for you. He should be able to explain it easily. If he gets defensive and accuses you of distrusting him or otherwise tries to make the argument about your behavior instead of answering the question, you have your answer. If he is in fact cheating, lawyer up immediately, even if you have to shoulder the burden of parenting more or less on your own from here on out. You can do everything in your power to ensure that he has to contribute fairly to your kids' living expenses. And OP responds, even the idea of raising the kids without him makes me want to puke. It's not the money, it's the lack of a partner. I'll show him the receipt when he gets home. I don't know if I'll be coherent or not. If he was getting gifts for me, I would think I would have seen something hidden around here, but I've torn the house apart today looking. There's nothing. He's never bought me clothes before. I can't remember the last time he bought me lingerie. Maybe before we had kids? Floker says, first breathe, calm yourself. When he gets home, tell him everything you suspect. Whatever he says next, remember it's not your fault. He made the decision to do whatever he has been doing. I'm hoping for your sake that he tells you he bought all that stuff for you as a big surprise. Best wishes. And don't forget to breathe. And OP responds, it honestly never even occurred to me that he would be buying me gifts for a surprise. If that was the case, then what do I do about the Allison Tripp email? Is that unrelated? Ugh, I'm so confused. Breathing is hard right now. Maple Leafer Man says, talk to him. Downvote me, people. Downvote me for telling her to communicate with her husband. What has this subreddit come to? And OP responds, I think if I do, I'm going to be incoherent. I'm a huge mess right now. OP's edit. The comments are making me very scared. I am thankful for everyone who is talking to me though, even when it's hard to hear. I've calmed down a bit, read no longer sobbing, and I'm going to call my older sister to talk to a real person about this. She lives a couple of hours away, but we have always been close, and she knows my husband well. I will try an update again later. Thank you to everyone. Edit 2. I just had a very strange conversation with my sister. I told her everything, was getting really worked up and emotional and crying again. She interrupted me and told me, sis, it's going to be fine. You need to calm down and talk to your husband when he gets home. I promise everything is okay. Hang up the phone, take a bath or something, calm down and wait for your husband to get home. Then she said she loved me and she hung up. What the hell is going on with my life today? I feel like she just blew me off. She didn't seem to react to what I was saying. But most commenters here seem pretty sure that something bad is going on. I feel like I'm going crazy. Edit 3. Right after I posted my edit about my sister and the phone call, my husband texted me. He said my sister had called him and he was on his way home. Okay, so what do you guys make of this so far? The sister clue is something big, I think. Anyways, let's move on to the update to see what happened after this. I immediately freaked out because I did not feel ready to talk to him. I was super pissed at my sister for calling him, and to be honest, I felt like the entire world was falling around my ears. I broke down. I didn't even know where I was, but when I heard the front door open, I realized I was on my knees in the kitchen sobbing. My husband skidded around the corner, and when I saw him, I just started crying harder. He dropped to the ground in front of me and started apologizing, and I just lost it. I started shaking my head and saying, "No, no, no, no," over and over again. I couldn't even hear what he was saying. He tried to hug me and I held my arms out all stiff like a kid does when he doesn't want a hug, just holding him back. It took me a few minutes to register what he was saying, but he was repeating over and over, "I'm sorry for scaring you. Please listen to me. You need to hear what's going on. I'm not cheating. Please listen to me." Just over and over. I finally stopped and just said, "What?" I just was so drained and confused. It was good news. I saw some of the comments in the original post saying, "Maybe it was a surprise, and you folks get the grand prize." The whole story came out. After our big talks about reconnecting, he called my sister for advice. My sister's idea was to have him spirit me away for a surprise weekend getaway while she and my brother-in-law took the kids. She connected him to her friend, a travel agent, remember Allison, to get the ball rolling. The plan evolved into my sister and parents trading off with the kids for the week. The jewelry receipt is for a necklace for me to wear out to dinner on our trip. The credit card charges are for some fancy clothes and lingerie he got for me for the trip. He took some of my clothes with him to get the sizes right and got a lot of help from the salespeople. He says they are my style, but they could be bags for all I care at this point. So why the surprise? My sister told him that it would be better if it was a surprise, because it would be romantic that way. She didn't count on me finding out early and assuming the worst. I have had mild anxiety issues all my life that have been worse since having kids, but this was the worst it's ever been. I've never felt so totally out of control in my life. He didn't tell me all of this right away. Some of it came out in that first moment in the kitchen, but when I realized it was not the end of my marriage, I pretty much became incoherent with relief. This is embarrassing, but I sobbed so hard that I vomited a little. At least it was on the linoleum. The rest he told me after I calmed down. We talked until late last night. He showed me all the emails, showed me our destination. We got excited together. I am not mad at him at all, which he is relieved by. Apparently, my sister called him with a "Red alert, get home now before your wife calls a lawyer" message. She knows I have some anxiety issues, so I may have to get after her about the decision to keep this all a big secret from me. Right now, I'm too relieved to be upset. I am a little concerned by how unhinged I became. I think I need to work on that. It's not like me. What am I going to do if a real crisis comes along? Some people were saying that I am codependent. Maybe they are right, but that's for later. For now, I'm enjoying my day with the kids and looking forward to my trip. Smiley face. Thank you for all the advice and good wishes from you all. I'm sorry for worrying anyone. You are wonderful people to spend your time ready to help a stranger through the screen. I hope your lives can all take an unexpected yet wonderful turn. Wow, OP, this is fantastic news. Nothing bad was going on and it was all just a really cool surprise. However, I do have to say that I think you should be more concerned by how unhinged you became. Because if instead of calling your sister, you would have acted right away, it could have been a lot worse. Not divorce worse, because I think it wouldn't have gotten to that, but I definitely don't think your husband would have enjoyed being served with divorce papers for planning a secret trip. Anyways, OP, all the best to the both of you and thank you for sharing. And now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge and it's by user I Smile You Smile Forever. I made a jerk at work hold in her pee for hours. I work in janitorial at a factory and unfortunately this means that people tend to be a-holes because they see me as someone below them. Well, I take pride in doing my job well and my bosses say I'm one of their best. For the last few months though, some lady, let's call her Jane, at the factory I clean keeps complaining about every little thing to my bosses, whether it be true or not. Well, recently she's been lying to my bosses and saying I don't ever clean the ladies' room, despite the fact that literally anyone could tell that I have, since it'd be disgusting otherwise. I know the factory doesn't allow restroom breaks very often, so I always let the women use the bathroom even if I'm actively cleaning it, to be nice. I mean, who wants to hold their pee for several hours? Well, because Jane complained enough, a new rule was put in place. That means I now can't let anyone into the bathroom as I clean it until I've finished. Jane is notorious for overusing her time in the bathroom to skip out on work, so needless to say, there have been a few times she's started leaving her area to use the bathroom. Given how thoughtful Jane has been about making sure I do my job properly, I've taken to make sure to always be cleaning the ladies' room in the break room whenever she needs it. The first time was the best, so let me share that with you. I came out of the bathroom that I'm cleaning to grab some more of my supplies, only to find Jane there waiting. Jane is frowning like usual. "Hey, could I use the bathroom? I really have to go and the other bathroom is under maintenance right now." I put on my best fake apologetic smile and shake my head. "I'm sorry, but I can't let anyone into the bathroom until I'm fully finished cleaning it. I'd say you could wait, but I wouldn't want you to get into trouble for standing around doing nothing." Jane scowled at me. "It won't take long. Can't you just move the sign for now?" Once again, I shake my head as I gather up the supplies I need. No can do. I have a schedule to stick to and can't go against company rules. I wouldn't want anyone to think I'm not doing my job correctly after all. Jane was getting pissed at this point, but I couldn't care less. I pushed open the bathroom door and gave her one more oh-so apologetic smile before heading in. "I'll try and hurry so you can use it soon, but there is only so much I can do. Sorry, Jane." Then I went into the bathroom and took the longest time I could to clean it. By the time I came out again, Jane was gone and I couldn't have felt happier. I knew she'd have to wait who knows how long until her next bathroom break, and the thought of that makes me grin so much. I still do it whenever I can, and there is absolutely nothing she can do in retaliation either, besides give me the stink eye. OP's edit. I've been looking through the replies and have seen a lot of concern about Jane's health. I would like to clarify that 9 times out of 10, Jane doesn't even use the bathroom when she's in there. She grabs her phone from her locker and takes it into the bathroom to play on it and watch videos instead of using the stalls. There are other bathrooms that aren't too far, and the time where I denied her the bathroom as I cleaned it when the other was under maintenance was just a coincidence that worked in the favor of the revenge. I have relatives who have issues with their bladders and would never risk anyone's health for some revenge because that is pretty messed up. I didn't want to leave anyone worrying about anyone's health, so I decided to add this edit in. I only took longer that one time with the cleaning because I didn't want anyone else in the factory to be punished for how Jane has been to me. I used to look the other way when people like Jane would go to the bathroom just to play on their phones instead of working, but decided to stop turning a blind eye and prevent her from doing so. The way I see it, other people shouldn't have to pick up the slack because Jane wants to play a phone game instead of doing her job. Sorry for not being clear enough in the original post and for making people concerned for others' health. Well, OP, hopefully Jane has stopped her behavior and she wasn't pissed for too long. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.